Hey everyone, Mike Doloff. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer at Inflow Communications. Glad to be talking with you today. I've got Travis Dillard, our President and CEO, with us. Hey Travis, say hello. Travis, so doing a multi-part series here and want to talk about remote workers and remote businesses and talking about not being in a physical office space, all working in one spot or multiple physical offices. This is a topic I see talked about all the time. People are trying to figure this out, whether it's for a particular part of their business, customer service, sales, or it's the entire organization. And now, obviously, Inflow, I've been here 5 years. You're President CEO. You've been here for, I don't know, like 60 years or something like that. So I thought being that Inflow is completely virtual and remote as a company, I think there's a lot of insights and info that you can provide. So why did you decide when you sort of took on Inflow and started building the company, why did you decide to make this a company that's all remote?
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, that's the good one. I'd like to tell you it was a lot of foresight, and intelligence, but it was mostly necessity and accident. When we started many, many years ago, there was just a handful of us, and I think to the tune of like 4, and we were all in Portland, Oregon. And as we started the company, we didn't have the financial means at the time to go secure an office lease and with the traditional brick and mortar. And frankly, even if we could have, I think we had better uses for our dollars as we're starting a company, as we're building our service team and our brand and our knowledge and all the things that we celebrate today. And so it was actually intended to be temporary. And there was a few of us working from our homes out of Portland, Oregon, and the tech stack was, a hosted voice over IP system, hosted Exchange server with, AdTran VPN hardware devices. And in those days, we would actually get together once a week and actually meet for a couple of hours. And that was, I think, like on a Tuesday morning meeting. Well, now we're over 50 employees spread across the country and actually the globe now. And as you can imagine, our tech stack has evolved quite a bit. We can get into that in the future series, but it's definitely evolved quite a bit, and we never went back. I think at one point we bought an office building to occupy as our corporate headquarters, and we functioned so well and so efficiently, and our culture was so strong then, just as it is now, that we ended up renting it out and just holding it as a real estate investment and never coming to the office. And so, yeah, to answer your question, out of accident and necessity, but now I consider definitely a strategic advantage.
We'll dig into that in future conversations, I'm sure. What kind of, thinking back from the early stages, what were some of the lessons learned, as you guys, like you said, necessity, not necessarily this was the desire, this was the necessity. What were some of the things that you ran into that were challenges or lessons learned?
Well, I think any time someone's contemplating going into a virtual environment, it's hard to transition from a traditional brick and mortar where you can walk across the hall and you can collaborate, you can throw some notes up on a whiteboard. You have to collaborate in a completely different way, and then more so, you also have to. I think probably the biggest lesson we learned early on is you have to have the right people, because not everybody is set up to succeed in a completely virtual environment. And so it starts with hiring. We're an A players only company. And so we hire A players, and luckily that is conducive to people that want to work hard and also just managing by objectives, right? You can't have nebulous gray definitions of success. It has to be very concrete. And those are the things that we had to adopt early on to be successful. So I would say probably it's the people, and then building the culture was a challenge, and continuing to feed and nurture that culture, as well as just managing to people and managing to objectives.
Excellent. I sense a strong part of that. One of the words kicking around my head when you're talking was trust, right? This level of trust that's there for the business and for the employees to be able to function when we're not physically in the same space, right? And that's
sure. Yeah. I mean, obviously we trust our people, our employees are family here. And I think people that are good core fits, they appreciate that. They appreciate that trust and the trust that's put in them, and they appreciate the autonomy in it. And again, with the right people on the team and the right culture wrapped around those people, and the right systems and processes, it works really, really well.
Travis, that's some great insight. Thank you so much. Just for future conversations, we're going to talk around culture. We're going to talk about how do you measure for remote employees in a remote environment? How do you recruit for that? And how do you retain employees? And it ties back into culture, but how do you continue to build and foster a place where people want to stay? How do you handle topics like training? That's always a huge ask, right, for any company. What's the tech stack look like? And how do you collaborate? How do you work to get things done across time zones, geographies, departments when everyone's distributed? So those are some of the topics we'll hit on future episodes of the series to kind of uncover some of our journey and share that with others who might be interested. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Talk to you again soon.